That's what you literally did. You threw my card that way.
I don't know. Back again. Back again with another deck review. This thing is called Crusadia Kaiju, made by Fluffy Dex himself. And kicked my ass.
It's not completely built. I have cards in here that are budget options to other cards, which the cards that they're in here for are now budget. But this is just straight up OTK and me and him played 3 games. He beat me on 1, and then the last 2 I just kind of rolled over his ass.
I've won 1 of the games.
Yeah.
Because I had a single negate.
But we both bricked.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going with the monsters. You have to play.
I don't like her. I know you get right back, but I don't like her.
3 of all the Crusadias, because if you don't, it's not a Crusadia deck.
Maximus. First off with Maximus?
Yes. Maximus makes it where you double the damage you're able to do. Then I got 3 Leon. I like calling it Leon, but Lioness. It makes it to where your Crusadia Link monsters do piercing battle damage. So if you have both of these guys on the field, you pretty much have a Crusadia monster that's a Chaos Max. Then this is your Banelinx Arborea. Whenever your Crusadia monster would get destroyed and she's in the graveyard, just banish her and it's not destroyed. Which actually works very well with Regulus. Or Reclusia, sorry. Reclusia destroys itself to pop a card on the field. You use its effect to go pop itself, destroy another card. You can banish her. You still get its effect, but it does not get destroyed.
And I've seen Salamangreat players use this.
Yes, this is very good in Salamangreats. Now, I don't play the Guard Dragon version, but this card here, Drago, it's good in the regular Kaiju, the OTK build, which it lets you get a Crusadia monster back from your grave to your hand when you special summon this to a monster, to a zone that Link monster's pointing to. But in the Guard Dragon engine play, it's phenomenal. It's the best card in the deck. Now I only play 6 Kaijus with two of each of these, which is 2 Thunder King, just in case if I can't get Crusadia Equal Max on the field or one of my other Crusadias that do a lot of damage. I have Kyoto Waterfall on the field, and I have enough tokens, or not tokens, but counters. Remove them, he attacks 3 times. That's also a game ender. 2 Dogoran, because his effect is pretty much a Regeki. But he can't attack, but that's fine. And then I run 2 Kumungus, because his effect to half the attack of your opponent's monsters. It's just for 2 counters.
And it also negates the face-up monsters' effects.
Yes, and it negates their effects. This is my replacement to Gamma Seal, but since Gamma Seal is only like a few bucks now, I'm actually going to buy it. And I'm going to either take these 2 out and have Gamma Seal in it, or I'm just going to take something else out and head to where I have 8 Kaijus in the deck. The only hand traps is 3 Ash Blossoms. The only game I was able to use it in, he freaking called by the grave. That was a good counter.
I always main deck called by the grave.
Yeah. And I realized called by the grave against a pendulum deck does not work well. I can't stop anything.
Yeah.
Now, okay. 1 Terraforming, 2 Waterfronts, because this is a Kaiju Crusadia deck and using Kaiju effects can really help. 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers. I have a 3rd in the side deck, which probably not going to show the side deck because this deck is going to be used on a regional, so I don't want to show my text yet.
Yeah.
For back row removal, 3 Twin Twisters. It helps getting Crusadia monsters into the graveyard and then using Draco's ability to bring them right back.
It also screws over my pendulum scale.
Yes. And then I only run 2 Call by the Graves just because I'm wanting this deck to be mostly just OTKing, but I want it to have some defense. Then 1 Crusadia Revival just to give my Crusadia Link monsters 500 attack and the ability to attack all monsters on the field. 1 Rhoda because Arborea is a warrior and she's essential for some of my plays. 1 of each of Testament and Power. Testament and Power do something similar with Testament's first effect. This one, I do believe, prevents my opponent from... Okay, it's our one Crusadia monster, and then that Crusadia monster is unaffected by card effects this turn, except for its own. I can only activate one. And then this one has 2 effects. The first one is when your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of Crusadia monsters on the field. Then its other one, after a damage collision, I can use this card's effect after a Crusadia monster, Link monster does damage, and I can then draw up to cards up to the amount of Link arrows it has. One Monster Reborn because it's an extender. Foolish Burial because it helps get my, it just helps with plays. Then Crusadia Vanguard because it helps get Crusadia monsters. I actually misread it and didn't think it was actually going to work, but then I read it during the duel. I'm like, oh, okay, so this can work. And then one Crusadia Crawler. I actually got these two mixed up with their secondary effect. This one's just in here for an extender, but I will say one thing I have in my side deck, and that is World Legacy World Crown, which I will sign in and out if I need it, and this will be able to search it. So that's it on the main deck. Now, extra deck, you're going to see a lot of copies of the same cards. That's just because, like my buddy here saw, I need them at multiple copies just so I can get to them again if something happens. So I run one Borreload, one Borrel Guard, just because I just needed another monster for the deck. One Pentastack just in case if I cannot get Maximus on the field get Leonis on the field for the piercing battle damage. Then 3 Crusadia Equal Maxes. I run it at 3.
Your OTK enabler.
Yes, this is my OTK maker. I rarely ever go into any of these because the Crusadia ones are the one I want the most. And I know most builds only maybe run 2 of them, but there was actually a game where I lost 2 of them and I had to go into the 3rd, so it's good to have 3. Same with the other Crusadia monsters, 3 of everything. Okay, he gets my field spell. Even though I only play 1 field spell, I have a couple other Crusadia cards that he can get. Then Spatha, just because she can set it up to where I can OTK by moving my opponent's main monster zone monsters around to the zones I need them. Then Magius has always been run at 3. He's the Crusadia card searcher. He's like a Rhoda for all Crusadians. So, but the two extra deck monsters that I go into for OTKing is the second one is only because if I can't get Equal Max on the field is him, because even though he's 1,000 points weaker, he can still facilitate the same OTKs. He's just going to be a little weaker, but that's fine. And other than that, that's really all I got for the Crusadia deck. I am probably going to grab the Crusadia, or not Crusadia. I'm probably going to grab the Guard Dragon engine. Because this is a deck that I haven't played in a long time, and I really want to take it to the regional that we're going to. So,
and now for some general thoughts. So, unlike all the other deck reviews, I haven't really given out my general thoughts on the decks that I reviewed. So, in regards to Crusadias, they're a fun deck to play around with.
Oh, and they can be nasty. They're a glass cannon, pretty much. At least the OTK version is. But my hope by getting the Guard Dragon edition of the deck will not only let me keep OTKing, but it will allow me to put plenty of negates on board.
I play Witchcraft or Dragon. I get to
destroy
spell.
And if I get what I need for the Guard Dragon engine, we could probably do another video, and that would be probably what I take to the regional.
Yeah.
So.
Like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll talk to you all later.